Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to FranTastic Insights, where we provide insights from some of the coolest people in franchising. My name is Alesia Visconti. I am the president and CEO of FranServe and Franchise Dictionary magazine. Now, FranServe is the largest franchise consulting organization in the world, and our mission is really very easy. We help people change their lives through franchise ownership. And we do that through a network of incredible franchisors and franchise consultants, all who help their candidates explore franchise opportunities. Now, today I'm very excited. I have Gregg Quisito. He is the VP of Franchise Development with JanPro International. So, Gregg, welcome to our show.
Thanks, Alesia. It's great to be with you.
Well, I am so happy you found time out of your schedule to come on and chat with us. I know it's the end of the year, it's end of December, end of 2020. We're all like chomping at the bit. So thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, Gregg, if you could tell our audience a little bit about what JanPro International does and what traits make your brand unique, I think that would be a great way to start.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Look, this is not a traditional franchise in that sense, right? JanPro International, while it's in the commercial cleaning space, it's a tiered franchise model, right? So for 30 years, we've used the term master franchise. Many people familiar with franchising know that term. We've now switched. We don't call it that anymore, but after 30 years, a lot of folks in the system are still going to refer to it. People know it as a master franchise, a regional franchise developer. But you're in the business. You're not in the commercial cleaning business, Alesia. You're in the business of selling franchises. So essentially, you become a franchisor. And if you look, behind me is the skyline of my hometown of Philadelphia. If you own the master franchise license for Philadelphia, Metro Philadelphia, your role as a regional franchise developer would not be to hire employees. Traditional franchises, they get into a space, they hire a bunch of employees, and this is not an employee-based model. I think that's a key differentiator because the large any scalable business of which this is, to have to hire dozens and dozens, hundreds of employees in this case to grow a big organization, it's fraught with peril, right? So 30 years ago when this thing was set up, the founder said, let's solve the biggest problem in franchising, which is large employee models. Employees it gets to be tough and expensive and all of that. And so you're not in the commercial cleaning business, you're in the business of selling franchises. And what you do is put a sub-franchisee in under you, right? And you can then sell as many franchise packages as you want, as many people. So those people, have a dream of small business ownership, which is why this is so cool. You enable that. You put them in business if you're a master franchise owner, and you teach them, train them, coach them, mentor them, and you set them up with a small business, and you set them up with the accounts. So that's where this kind of model differs. You're in the business of selling franchises. Your sales team sells the accounts, and you supply those sub-franchise owners with a book of business. Because those sub-franchise owners say, look, we can execute. We have the dream of small business ownership, but they get into it kind of like a side hustle business at first. We have a day job. We need supplemental revenue. We don't have time, capacity, or the talent really to go out and sell ourselves to win those accounts. But if you hand us those accounts, right, we'll go out and execute with you train us and hand us the accounts. We'll execute and do a great job. So that's how this whole system works.
And I will say that is a very unique model in franchising. And do people immediately understand it when they first approach you, or do you have to explain it a little bit more in detail so they can see what a great opportunity it is?
Well, most of them need a bit of explanation because when they see the name JanPro, right, they immediately assume, oh, well, you're in the cleaning business. And in some sense you are, but you're not going out and cleaning. You're not hiring crews of people to go out and clean, right? That's everything that this business is not. You're a franchisor. So that's where it gets really cool. If you own this region, you're a franchisor. You collect royalties from franchise owners. You sell franchises, right? That's a revenue stream. So you have multiple revenue streams. You sign up the accounts, and in this case, They're everything from doctor's offices, hospitals, school system, car dealers, retail, you name it. Every business needs to be cleaned, right? That's the other cool part about it. It's sort of, it generates its own demand. And so then you have this opportunity to sell, large numbers of franchises to folks who then want the accounts, large numbers of accounts. We literally have franchise owners in large markets who have hundreds of franchise owners under them, hundreds of sub-franchise owners, and 1,500 to 2,000 accounts somewhere. So there's a scalable, it's a scalable business. You couldn't do that really if you were just hiring and running an employee model.
That's what I was going to talk about, the scalability of it, and the model lends itself to that so incredibly well. Now we're talking about, areas and territories. So, your brand's been around for a bit. What kind of sold out situation is there? Is it hard for someone to get a good territory? Why don't you expand a little bit on that, Gregg?
Well, yeah, there's, look, it's a mature brand, right? So in this particular case of JanPro, we've got, 150 some master franchise territory owners in 8 countries around the world. But in the US, there's still some great territory that you can get into, and some secondary and tertiary markets that are huge opportunities, because when you get into these second and third tier markets, Alesia, the competition level is thin, disorganized, a lot of mom and pops, a lot of big franchises just focus on major markets. And we figured out a model to get into some, smaller markets and dominate. They become a big fish in a small pond. A lot of these smaller markets haven't seen a professional grade company like JanPro ever before. They're used to just dealing with sort of mom and pops.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because the reason I think is happening with some of our audience having an aha moment, because of course, when you hear about the model initially and the success with JanPro, you think, well, there's no territory for me. But here, Gregg, you go and explain how there exactly is, that there is territory if people want to explore this brand, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some really good markets around the country still left available.
Awesome. And let's talk a little bit about your franchise owner. What traits do you look for? What makes a good owner for you in terms of your model?
Well, a good owner has been an executive. These folks they know how to run teams, Alesia. They know how to run organizations. They have leadership skills. They also have a skill set that, we like to call a servant leadership mentality, right? So if you think about it, the unit, we call them a unit, it's a sub-franchise owner. They're the heartbeat of your organization. They're going out and executing, right? You're supplying them with a book of business, but they're in the front lines. And so you've got to take good care of those folks. You've got to treat them well, with respect, train them. You have to do more than train them and go out and do it. You have to be a coach. You got to be a mentor. They're a small business owner and they're responsible, but typically it's the first time they've ever owned a small business, right? They have that dream. You enable that dream. You also have to foster that dream. Make sense? So that
Yes.
we're looking for folks who understand, they have that mentality, they know how to run teams, and how to build something from scale.
Now, for your master owners and your franchisees, do they have to have an extensive background in commercial cleaning?
No, that's a great question. See, that's the beauty of franchising, isn't it? There's so many models, not just in JanPro, but so many models. We have this, you figured out how to do something. You have a system. If you take folks with talent, with drive, plug them into a system, then they'll do well. So you don't need to know the first thing about commercial cleaning if you want to be a master franchise owner in this system. We teach you how to do everything. It's an amazing blueprint. You need leadership skills. You need to have managed something before, understand that this is about servant leadership, and sign up for that and go, I'm willing to do that. The rest is just, hey, man, we'll help you.
That's great. And, I do think there is that misconception, right, that they would have to have that background. And here you explain it so well. No, the whole purpose of franchising is to learn the model. And that's what the training and the operations and the support is all about. That's the beauty of a franchise indeed.
Totally. I describe it this way, and maybe you'll like this analogy. it's almost like we've built the yellow brick road. Honestly, we know where it leads. So we preach this to all the folks that want to get into franchising, if it's JanPro or any franchise. If you believe in the model, that's why you're buying into that franchise. Then for heaven's sakes, follow the yellow brick road. We know where it leads. It's the people that want to, yeah, but I want to do it this way. That look, I don't know what happened. You go off into the poppies, you're on your own. Not bad things can happen. You follow, you stay on the path. We know where it leads.
Oh, I absolutely love that analogy. I absolutely do. I might have to. I'll credit you the first time, Ken, and then I have to kind of steal it from you, right?
There you go.
Yep, I can steal that. I appreciate it. I'd like to go a little bit deeper, if you don't mind now, and talk about one of my favorite hashtags, and that is the hashtag of Franchise Strong. Now, I am so passionate about this hashtag. I probably use it more than I do for my own companies, but to me, the Franchise Strong is about the community. It's about the family of franchising and how we come together. And as you said, do the support, help people become first-time owners, help people to realize their dream. And whether, economy up, economy down, COVID, no COVID, we all stick together to help people have their success. I would love to hear, Gregg, what does Franchise Strong mean to you and your brand?
Yeah, no, I do believe it more than ever. Franchise Strong, especially this year, meant that folks need to understand they are in business for themselves, but not by themselves, right? They are not alone in this. You have smart people on the franchisor side to collaborate with. You have other franchise owners in a system to collaborate with. You have people who have figured out what to do, what not to do, how to pivot. And I'm tired of using that word, but everybody uses it this year. And they figured it out. So you don't need to just try to, to be overwhelmed by thinking, how am I going to pivot this year and figure out how to do it all by myself? You don't, that's not it. So strong to me means I've got a team, I've got people and resources that I can rely on that will help me figure out how to navigate this year more than ever.
I think you hit the nail right on the head when you use the tagline of, be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And I think, we kind of work on that beginning end with people who are looking at franchise ownership and they're always excited to own the business. And then they think, but I don't have business experience, and am I going to succeed? And that, again, the whole beauty of the franchise, because as you said, the model is laid out and, the yellow brick road, right? But that model is laid out. So, people, especially now, if you're in the process and you're thinking, gee, this might be the perfect time for me to change my life and have a franchise, look at JanPro, because look at how they have everything set up for their systems. It's just amazing. So I want to thank you so much, Gregg. I know everybody's, as we said, a little crazy busy trying to get everything done, but we're so happy that you came onto the show and shared your FranTastic insights with us. And audience, thank you for your time. Be sure to subscribe so you can stay updated with our videos on our channel. And Gregg, I'd like to just turn it over to you for some last words before we wrap up.
Yeah, one thing I would tell you, if you're grappling with the decision for, gee, what's next in my career, you got to do your homework. You got to look at, it doesn't matter if it's JanPro, whatever it is, but franchises are run by people. And just as much as you love this model, you think, oh, I found a model I really like, you better love the people too. You better think to yourself, let me get to know them. Do I trust them? Are they smart? Do they know what the heck they're doing? Because once you say yes, you become part of the family. So know the family as much as the model that you may be getting into. I think if you got both of those things where you can say yes to, and you have a strong desire to go, I can take my skill set and I want to transfer it into something and finally do it, lean into it. You're going to be, it's both exhilarating and scary, but I'm speaking from a guy who I've been in franchising myself. I've owned a franchise. I'm not just in development. And so I've been through this, I've done it, and it's the most exciting experience ever. So there you go. Hope everybody is, staying safe. A Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you, Alesia. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Greg. I really appreciate it. And I just have to say it. Have a fantastic day.
You too. Thank you.